Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different in spectating randoms. Now, I know this is something that's gotten pretty popular on YouTube recently, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently where we're actually going to try and make it a little more educational rather than just ragging on people. One thing I'll be doing different is rather than live commentating the game, I'm going to be skipping through to parts where there's action or there's things we can learn from. This way it'll be a slightly smaller video but still with a lot of information throughout. So I just came back from Gulag and I went to Superstore so that way we could try and spectate someone who's a little bit sweatier. Unfortunately, there was a lot of bots in this lobby and in this area, so you'll see how that plays out. Now we end up spectating a level 1 player, and you guys are going to see why I tell you guys not to go Superstore and just to go land on a vehicle and start doing bounties. Because in Superstore it is third party central. So now Coping hears a player on him, he sees a red dot on the map so he's ADSing. And as you're going to see, he actually ends up killing a pretty good player. The guy's movement was decent. But unfortunately for him, he ends up getting third partied. As I said, it's gonna be third party central in here. Hasn't happened yet. Also, one thing Coping can improve on is utilizing his movement a little bit more. He's kind of like sitting there. As you guys can see, he is lagging a little bit. But if he was at least moving around while plating, it would have made him a little less likely to get third partied there. So Revenge ends up killing him, but unfortunately we can't really spectate in time to see the next engagement. He almost gets third partied, but I guess he got this guy weak. The other player ran away and he ends up shooting him in the back. So we're going to be spectating this player for a majority of the game. And not to rag on this guy, but it's going to be a good way to show you guys how not to play your solos games. But he does see this player on the roof and he ends up hitting a really nice shot on him. So our guy Revenge is rotated all the way to the twin building where he killed that last player on foot and he still hears someone above him. Now he just heard a parachute, meaning he's jumped off and he sees him on the other roof in just a second. And now he ADS's on him. He doesn't think he's going to get this kill, so he doesn't take the shot, which is a fair play, but it's going to end up hurting him later on in the game. We also now know that was the same player he just killed, since we see his body there, so we know it's the same skin, and we saw that he took all his loot. So now he sees the guy run out. He made a good play by taking the high ground as soon as this guy got off of it. That guy hit the zip, and he gets a pretty free shot on him. So after that kill, Revenge has now ran to the rooftop. And from here on out, he's going to really slow down his gameplay, and it's going to hurt him because he's not going to be proactive in doing the things he needs and getting the things he needs to win the game. One thing I quickly want to point out that's a pretty good tip, in a second here he's going to hear gunshots behind him, but it's not until he sees a red dot on the map that he actually knows to look behind him and that there's players there. Generally later in the game, everyone's going to have a suppressor on their gun, so you have to go off things other than just your minimap to figure out where players are. Things that I use that are going to be the most helpful to you guys are looking out for bullet tracers, listening for gunshots, and picking up bounties whenever you can. So obviously Revenge is still on the rooftop, and he now sees an ATV crossing in front of him. And remember I said that holding your trigger is sometimes a good play, but in this case it ends up kind of biting him in the back. He only takes 3 shots at this player when he had time to take probably more than 5. The problem with this is that it's kind of just a numbers game when you're taking RNG shots like that. If you shoot 5 shots, you're more likely to hit 1 than if you just shoot 3. It's now third circle, and Revenge has just now left that rooftop to go get his loadout. He ends up picking a ghost class and keeping his ground loot guns, which is a fine play. You get your perks, and if you like the ground loot guns you had, you can just keep them. Now I want you guys to know, if you guys are just holding a power position, sitting on a roof, holding zone, playing for wins, that's completely fine. That's just a playstyle, right? The problem with the way Revenge is playing is that he's not being proactive and taking the steps he needs to take to win the game. It took him about 2 circles just to go get his loadout. He's also been sitting on the roof with 20k. He could have easily took that Bertha to go to a buy station and get a self-res, get a streak. That way he's way more set up to win the game. So as you guys saw, someone pulled up to this building in the Bertha and they're now pushing the staircase. Which, as you guys know, I don't think that's a good play. If you're already in a truck, there's no reason to push a building. You can kind of just wait for them to peek you and then try and beam them. Obviously, our player Revenge has grabbed Ghost, so there's no way the guy pushing the building would know where he is, and he ends up just playing a corner and shooting him in the side. A little bit later, the guy who Revenge just killed comes back from the gulag and lands back on his stuff, which I definitely think it's a good play. Now that you see the type of player Revenge is, and you're going to know where he is, you're going to be able to get your stuff and be able to fight him since now you at least know where he is. Unfortunately for T.O. Bob Gamer, he doesn't loot up fast enough and ends up getting shot before he can even take his gun out. In that situation, all you should really be doing if you're landing back on your stuff is grabbing your SMG and then just getting ready to fight. So our player Revenge finally has to rotate off the roof since the gas is coming in. He's got 2 Berthas he could have grabbed and he opts to just fly off the roof. This is a very bad play because if you look at the zone, he's going to eventually have to rotate towards train station, and on that rotation there's going to be no cover for him. And as I was just saying, now that you guys see the new zone, he even has to rotate a little bit further than train station to get mid zone. He can still go grab the truck, but he's going to opt to just run through the open, and it's not going to be a very smart play. Fortunately for this guy, he makes it through by sheer luck, but since he's just been sitting on a rooftop the whole game and not really improving his skills, he's going to eventually have to get into a real gunfight, and you're going to see it's just not going to go well. So the gas is forcing him out again. He pulls up his heartbeat. He has a player right above him on his heartbeat, and he's also walking around a little bit, so the player above him knows he's here. He's going to end up making a decision to play the gas, so he's going to sit in the gas with his gas mask and wait for the guy to just rotate out and shoot him in the back. Weirdly enough, this guy's just looking out in the middle of nowhere. The guy drops down, he doesn't hear him at all, and the player who drops down ends up getting a free kill. Now we're spectating Sky High, who ends up being able to rotate into zone. He has this wall as cover, and there's still a couple apartments in zone, so you know the last 4 players are most likely going to be in those apartments, and now he sees the zone pull, so he's just going to be able to take the zone, let everyone else fight each other, and then just kill the last guy. Just imagine if Revenge, the player who we were spectating before, took that Bertha and rotated here. He would have been easily able to kill Sky High with his Bertha, and then he would have just been able to wait for these guys to rotate out, fight each other, and then just kill the last one, just like Sky High does, and he gets a free W. As you guys see from spectating these randoms, we're able to learn from a lot more mistakes than if we were looking at my gameplay or another top player's gameplay. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss any more content like this. And since this is something new to this channel, please let me know what you guys think of it. Let me know if there's anything else you would want to see. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.